This episode of Dana Being Dana is brought to you in part by the Wright Center for Women's Health, providing personalized luxury health care.
Hello, and welcome to Dana Being Dana. That's me, and I'm thrilled you're with us. My show is about all different aspects of the human connection, things that bring us together, and living life intentionally. 30 years ago, the romantic comedy When Harry Met Sally, starring Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, hit the big screen. It became a hilarious classic about falling in love. The story originated at my law school alma mater and involved my favorite cities and songs. Falling in love is one of the best feelings in the world, and I'm a huge fan. So today, I am joined by three lovely couples as they reflect on the movie and share their own stories. Desir and Kellie Martial have been married for 5 years. How are you all doing?
We're good.
Awesome.
Yes.
Erik and Amy Sachs have been married for 11 years.
Yep.
And Benny and Kim White have been married for 32 years. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm thrilled to have you all here. So it took Harry and Sally 12 years and 3 months to get down the altar. How about you? How long were you dating before you got married?
Well, we were dating 6 years, 8 years? 6 years. 6 years.
Yep, we met 2 years prior to dating, so total 8 years before we actually got married. But I think the cool thing was we weren't able to go ahead and start dating and getting married. I mean, getting married because I was in school and I've been at the military academy. We weren't allowed to have a spouse.
They were allowed to get married. And it's still a rule, I think, there.
Yeah, but the cool thing is this weird thing that only 2% of cadets entering the academy will marry their high school sweetheart. So we were actually part of the 2% club.
The 2%, all right.
2%, absolutely.
Erik and Amy?
We met when we were 15, and 17 years later, we got married.
Wow.
That is awesome. Long
Kellie
time.
and Desir?
4 years.
4 years.
We dated for 4 years before we got married. So, yeah.
So where and how did you meet?
Well, I guess I could start that one off. I met him at his birthday party. I was not originally invited. I didn't even know you. I called my friend up one night and I said, well, what are you doing tonight? I want to go out. I want to have fun. And she's like, well, I'm going to this birthday party, a joint birthday party. And he was he was the birthday guy.
He's a birthday guy. Well, happy birthday
guy.
All right.
So I went to his house. He opened the door. I just walked right past him. I wasn't looking for anybody. I just wanted to hang out with my friends and have a good time. He was trying to make me drinks and talking to me. That's what you said.
I see it a different way. Because, she was invited. So Tiffany, I thank her for bringing her to my birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in, I saw her gorgeous. So I was like, let me get you a drink. What do you like to drink? So I got a drink. I was like, oh, you like to sing karaoke? Oh, let me get this karaoke thing set up, So I thought I was going out my way. She just thought I was being a good host. But, that's kind of how I felt. So I was ignored for a little bit.
Karaoke song was always and forever. Erik and Amy, where and how did you meet?
I went to driver's ed when I was 15 with a bunch of his friends from his high school. Yeah. And then they became my really good friends, and they introduced us when we were 15, and he was working at White Mountain Creamery.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I saw Amy and I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it took a long time, but we finally, were both available. And so we started dating when we were late 20s, 29. And 3 kids later, 11 years of marriage later.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What was your most memorable date?
Oh,
Before marriage or after?
before marriage, for sure.
What did you do
for us.
on the date?
I remember it was Valentine's Day, and Benny had, we were in high school, so he don't have money to go out. And he invited me to come over to his house for dinner. And when I got there, I remember, normally we would eat dinner with his family, and there was no table set or anything. And he said, well, we're going to go downstairs to the basement. I walked down, and there was a table with candles and flowers.
Aww.
And his
In
mom had
high
made
school.
this amazing dinner. I know, it was I still remember that. was very nice.
Hey, I had to impress her. So, yeah, my mom's an amazing cook, so I know that part was going to be great. But you know,
What was your most memorable date?
that would be it as well.
Yeah?
Yes,
Both of you,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
Matches.
Yeah.
Erik?
Our first date was we actually it was a Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Buffalo
It was very
Wild
fancy.
Wings.
It was very fancy.
Emphasis
But that was
on
our
wow.
first. Yeah, that was our first real date, and it was exciting because we'd known each other for a very long time. So.
Right.
So that's when things moved
That was
from
when things-
friends
yeah.
to...
And it was the most
Exactly.
memorable date
Yeah, really.
because in the middle of the date he said, "Do you want to go to Australia with me?" And I said yes. And then we did months later.
Oh.
So that's why it was the most memorable day.
That's the Crocodile Dundee move. Right. Desir and Kellie?
You know what I would say? I would say the first night that we met when I went to his birthday party, that ended up being an impromptu date because we clicked and we were talking and we didn't want the night to be over. So after the party, we were out downtown and we went to a restaurant, Tempo's, and we ordered breakfast and we talked until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of an impromptu. But I do want to say our first date, he was late.
I was gonna say it.
Go
knew she was gonna put
ahead.
it
Go
on.
ahead.
Yes, the first date. It's kind of, I remember that because obviously I wanted to impress her. So I remember the first time we met, we was sitting out, hanging out, and we spoke for like till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, hours.
And so I got my hopes up, and I was so shy because I was like, "Oh, I love your shoes. They're so pretty." I couldn't even look her in the eye. But the next day, when we had the date, the first official date, and my friend made us late. Made me
It was
late.
a double date.
It was a double date. My friend made me late, so I was so upset. I was like, "She's gonna hate me." I was like, my first impression to like really get our date, and I'm going to be late. And I'm a military guy too, so time is very important. So I was very sad.
You were right on time. Right on time. How did you fall in love? How did you know? When did you know?
I think you just know. I mean, you spend so much time with that person. We were so young. I was 16 when we started dating. So I think you just spend more and more time with each other. And at some point you just realize, I want to be with him more than not with him. So I guess that was love then. I didn't really know, but.
Erik and I would say it was at different times. Mine was in Australia.
Good day, man.
And I know.
Yes.
And I actually said, I love you. And he said, thank you. And that was that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've never not lived that down, obviously.
So how about you, Erik?
It was honestly, I knew when we started dating, it was going down that path. And I told her that all the time. She didn't quite buy it until there was a ring on her finger.
You're welcome.
Well, I felt like he was someone special that first night that we met, and then we continued to talk every day after that. And when I saw like he's just genuinely such a good person, and he has just such a good heart, and it was easy, and we just enjoyed being around each other. There's just nothing difficult about it, and I'm like, he's just
easy.
great. Yeah,
it feels
was
right.
It feels
It's
right.
right.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they know about the type of person that is right for them, but they're wrong. How is your spouse similar or different from the person that you thought you would marry growing up?
He's perfect. Honestly.
Oh my God.
You should say thank you.
No, yes, you should. No, he is very caring. He is supportive. He loves his family. And that's what I wanted when I was younger. And I did date somebody else that wasn't like that. And so it was really nice to find that.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you thank her again? I didn't hear you.
I did the same line. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
I mean, I would piggyback off of that. I mean, I would say the same about Desir. Just a great heart. He treats me great. He loves me. He loves his family. I mean, it's just easy. I think that's the difference from maybe things in the past. We'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think you always look at how someone treats their mother, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
my husband adores his mom, and he's just a great guy. He adored my mom, and he's a great dad to my daughter and a great role model and to our kids. So, yeah.
Gentlemen? How's your wife similar or different to the type of person that you thought you would marry?
I would say that I think it's important you look at people's kind of their value system and how it matches up with yours. So because you don't want to get involved with someone that's values are completely different than yours. But so that's something I really admire about my wife. And I think the other part is that she kind of complements areas of my life where I'm kind of weak in certain areas. She can be assertive when I may not be, and she's very organized when I know I'm all over the place at times. So I think in that respect, she completes me. If I could use that line from some other.
I remember that. That's a different movie. But yes. Do you feel like you and your spouse are similar or opposites?
I think we're similar, and I think I've used that before, right? It's like, I think we're cut from the same cloth, because I was like, hey, because we had a lot of similarities and stuff like that, and we clicked. It was like instant.
I remember.
You were there.
I was there.
So I keep saying that it's cut from the same cloth, because like same kind of, growing up background and stuff like that. So we had a lot of similarities, so it was awesome.
That's great. Well, I say that all relationships fail, but one, right? The marriage, that you end up in. How do you know when it's the real thing? Because oftentimes people get into every relationship like, oh, this is it. Oh, this is it, right? And sometimes things don't work out. Right. So your relationship has stood the test of time. So how do you know when it's the real thing?
I have a funny story about that. So I was living in California, and Erik was living in Chicago. And I went into my boss's office, and I said, I'm giving my 6 months notice. I'm moving back to Chicago. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. I'm starting a company, and I'm going to date this guy named Erik Sachs. And I did.
You did all the things.
Stalker. No, he's the right one.
Thank you.
She goes after what she wants, which is great for me.
Yeah. Anybody else? How do you know when it's the real thing?
I think, again, I just think because this person has the same value system as you and all of that. So, I just think we just knew. But I was so young. I keep going back to I was so young. I didn't know what I didn't know. But, I lucked out. I got the greatest guy. So, yeah.
And you realize this is the person I want to be with. I feel great when I'm around this person. I don't want to be apart from that person. And you just kind of know. So I don't think there's any magic formula to it. You just know.
So when you know, you know. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
This episode of Dana Being Dana is brought to you in part by the Wright Center for Women's Health, providing personalized luxury health care.
Welcome back to Dana Being Dana, where we are talking all about love. I am with three couples, Desir and Kellie Martial, who've been married for 5 years, Erik and Amy Sachs, who've been married for 11 years, and Benny and Kim White, who've been married for 32 years. Desir, tell us about your proposal.
Okay, so proposal was a whole planning situation. I first obviously talked to her dad, to mom, and then went to visit my parents, like in a good way in Florida. So we went out there, had my brother and his wife set up the whole scene in the backyard. So it's kind of like the Bachelor type setup. Ooh. So we had the lights, similar to over here. So her mom flew in, and she had no idea. Yeah. So she popped up, and she was surprised.
I cried. I hadn't seen her in so long.
Aww.
Yes, so I was like, it was awesome. We went to the backyard. My brother was taping it the whole time, and she was like, what's going on? And we finally got up there, and then I got on my knee and proposed. It was like on pillars. It was the most awesome day. I thought
It
it
was
was.
beautiful.
I
It was a
remember.
beautiful setup. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on. It didn't even dawn on me when I saw my mother. I was like, I thought that was a surprise. Then he was acting weird, and I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, is everything okay? And then we get back to the house, and they're keeping me outside because they're still fixing everything in the back. And I have our daughter Nadia, and she's crying, and I'm like, I just want to put her to sleep. She's just so tired. Nobody will let me in the house. And then I walk into the back, and then I see like flowers, and we're in Florida, so that they have a pool. There's candles floating in the pool, and and everything.
Very
and then he has a microphone, and then he starts talking. I don't know what he said.
Very important.
I have no idea, but but then I said yes. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes. What was your favorite thing about your wedding day?
For us, it was the fact that it wasn't a day. We went to Mexico, and we went on the first day that our first guest arrived, and we didn't leave till our last guest left. So we spent probably
Thursday to Sunday.
Monday,
Yeah,
Thursday
it
to
was like 5
Monday.
days.
It
It
was
was
5 days.
Wow.
So you got to have moments with like everyone who showed up to
Right.
be there for your special days. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it was
That's
great.
great.
I would highly recommend it.
Si, senor.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just when the doors opened and I saw him at the end of, the altar, I was like, he's mine, forever, he's mine. So that was for me, I don't know.
It's funny you say that because I was going to say exactly the same thing. It's when the doors opened and she came out. I had not, obviously I hadn't seen her in the wedding dress and everything, and I was like, wow, I'm marrying the most beautiful woman in the world. I remember my friends. I looked at the groomsmen; they were like, wow. So
She cleaned up nicely, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I love it. So, as you know, marriage can have ups and downs. What have you found to be one of the greatest challenges in your marriage? Obviously, we've overcome challenges, but what has been something that you guys have had to work on together?
I would say for us, we have 3 children. With the kids, you just get tired.
Y'all have young babies.
We have young babies. You might be tired. It might be like a short fuse. So something that we've been that we work on is really communication.
So important.
Yeah, it's really important, and it makes all the difference. And then sometimes just taking a step back or just taking a moment when speaking to each other and just keeping the lines of communication open. So that's something.
I think that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
When you're so busy too,
Mhm,
managing
mhm.
jobs and children
Right.
and all of that.
Right.
So, yeah. What else?
I think for us, now our kids are older, so we don't have
Y'all are in a
those-
different
yeah,
phase.
Yeah, we're in a different phase. But I think when they were younger, Benny was obviously active duty in the military, so he was gone a lot. And so I was really, probably most of the time I was alone raising the kids, and he would come back from like some duty assignment and, he wants to be fun dad and let the kids stay up till 10 o'clock. I'm like, no, you can't do this.
They have
You
a
cannot
good
do
time.
this. They have so I think that was one of our challenges early on with the babies, but
I would agree with you. In the military, I'm an officer, I'm a commander, and all that. And, but when I get home, I realized the sergeant major just said, her being the sergeant major, saying what I can and can't do while I'm at home. So I just fall in line, and I'm not going to disrupt it because she's been running the household while I've been gone. So I don't want to disrupt that. So you quickly learn, especially as a military officer, just being in the military, coming home. I will tell you, maybe the real heroes in the military are our spouses, because they're really doing those things that allow the service member to go out and do their job and so on. So. Yeah.
For us, I would say it's parenting. 3 kids,
Kids
3
are
boys.
hard.
Yep. It's hard to sometimes be on the same page and work through it. You're tired, like you said. So that is the hardest part.
We also have 3 kids, and there's something that has happened. I call it the third. There's always 1/3 dissenting opinion.
Yeah.
If 2 want to do it, 1 doesn't. So always, and my nickname is the turd, actually, for the third. So
Your
whoever
nickname is what?
the turd. So whoever's the third, I'm like, all right, you're the turd, this time around. But yeah, the co-parenting piece is hard, because you also put the kids in front of you as a couple too, and that's hard. So you got to make sure you make time for you two as a couple.
That's important. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on turd.
He's not going to say it.
He
said it.
Did you say that?
Yes, he did. But how do you make marriage work with kids? I think oftentimes people struggle in marriages. A lot of times your marriage is tested when you have kids. I always say you never know what kind of parent you are until you become one, right? Remember when you wanted like 5 kids, 8 kids, Brady Bunch? No. So how do you make marriage work with kids?
I think you have to have those date nights. I remember going through like the counseling before we got married, and our pastor said, most couples fight about, money and communication. There's all these different things, and one was kids, right? So you just talk through those things. And I remember he said, make sure you make time for each other. You go out on dates and you do that. I know the first year our son was born, I don't think I ever left my son's side, but I learned with the second one. We definitely had a lot of date nights. So
you guys have 2 kids, right?
we have 2 kids.
2 kids, grown,
young adults, off the payroll. Thank the Lord. It is good to be on this side of it. Yeah.
And that's when a lot of the dating gets to happen, right?
Yeah. You just don't have those same, struggles, if you will, with young kids. It's more about where are we going to go have dinner and have a glass of wine. Versus,
That sounds amazing.
I know.
Sounds
Just
amazing.
wait. It's coming.
What is your favorite thing about your family?
I think our kids.
Yeah.
So we have our youngest right now, I'd be 10 months. So that, like the kids, I think just brings it all together. It's like when I see her, the way she interacts with our kids, it just warms my heart. And that's why, perfect lady to be with, but all that unit, the family unit, is the biggest. I grew up from, like I said, 4 boys, and New York, I had family everywhere. So we were always cousins interacting. So we have a huge family, so I'm all about family. Kelly's a single kid, so she
Single kid.
Single kid.
But
Single.
So now she's getting that into that as well. But that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I would echo that as well. Just having the ability to get together as a family. And it's interesting for us because we've been through all the phases with our kids. And each phase is a little bit different. I mean, you can't wait for them to get out of one phase because you're going to get rid of certain things that they don't, because they've grown and they're older. But then it's something new that pops. Then there's something new pop. But now that they're adults, it's kind of interesting. We can kind of hang out and they can order a drink at if we're out, and so on. And it's just different. We can talk with them, and they're adults, 28 and 23. So it's just different, but it's very enjoyable. Vacation with them. We have made a decision that we're going to make sure we vacation as a family at least once a year. We just go somewhere. Nice. So that's been one of the exciting things.
We pay for it, which is why they said that.
Exactly.
Not fully indulged.
Not yet.
What do you appreciate most about your spouse?
I appreciate that Erik is very supportive of anything I want to do, whether it be working, not working, how I spend my time, if I'm going on a girls' trip, always supportive.
Yeah, I would echo that. Vinny has just been, obviously very supportive, but also just a great role model for our kids. I think, if I could say, just been on this side of it with our, while our kids are adults, we're still kind of in that now caretaking stage with our parents. And just watching how he, get emotional, really helped me with my mom before she passed away. Really, I can't say enough about what he did. And I know a lot of, marriages don't really survive things like that. But it was, I can't even say enough. He was just amazing with my mom.
That's nice.
It's nice.
I appreciate everything about this man right here. He's so he's so hardworking. I work about an hour away from home, so that means that it's on him to get all 3 kids to school and pick all 3 kids up. And I help out and try to prep as much as I can the night before, but I'm gone, and he's getting everybody ready. So kudos to you for that.
I understand her, the life of having kids and, going to work, come back home. So like when she wants to go on a little girls trip or, go out with the girls and do whatever, I'm like, go ahead. I'm trying to encourage, like, get out, like do your stuff. You have a lot of friends in Chicago, go out, hang out, get the wait time. I remember one time we tried to do her birthday. So I got like a spa day, hotel room, and I was in trouble for that. Because like, you want me away from my kids for 2 nights? I was like, I'm sorry. I just thought you might want a break.
What advice do you have for single people? Because you know they're watching. Listening.
You know, I think people know if someone's right or wrong for them. I mean, you kind of know pretty instantly. You know, if someone is that person that, you know, where you're questioning your value system, it's just not the right person for you. So if you know, just move on. Don't even continue the small talk. You know, just move on and wait for that person that's, you know, going to be someone in line with who you are and what you do, and be supportive. And so I think at the end of the day, you have that gut feeling.
Right. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were talking about when Harry met Sally, and one of my favorite debates from the movie is, can men and women be friends, or does the sex part get in the way? So what do you think? Can our expert panel weigh in on that?
I think we could be friends, but Kelly has a different opinion.
I do not. I do not. I think it depends on the relationship. I mean, if you're walking down the street and you spark up this conversation and you're exchanging numbers, no, nothing like that. But if we go to work every day, we form relationships and friendships in terms of like new friendships like that, you know, I completely understand. And then we had lives before we met each other. Right. Mm-hmm. You know, so as long as the person you're with is secure, I don't think it should be an issue.
One of Eric's best friends was also one of my best friends, and that's how we met.
Is that a man or a woman?
It was a man, and I did a lot with him. I talked to him on the phone all the time. We'd go to basketball games together. Always just friends. His family is like my family. And when we started dating, this friend and I were on the phone, and we were like, maybe we shouldn't be on the phone anymore together. Maybe we shouldn't see each other when we're not with him. Maybe we'll just see each other now when we're all together. And that's how we did it. And he's still my really good friend, and he's still Eric's really good friend.
Yeah, we go on couples trips, and you know, we're all still very close. But yeah, it's hard. I would say it becomes challenging to keep that friendship through all the phases of life if you start to kind of go different directions. Yeah. And stay really close friends with the opposite side. It's more challenging than if you have a friend of yours that you know, made it through maybe a couple different phases of life, and then, you know, you have more in common with them. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say your best friend is clearly one of my best friends as well. We've grown up together.
Is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
It's a woman.
Her name is Kim.
It's funny, and they're same name, and to the point we could all. It's funny, we could all be in the room together, and I'll just say, "Hey, Kim," and the right one will answer me because they know how I say Kim. It's the funniest thing, but
say Kim one way to her one way.
But I think so. But there's, you know, you got to know your spouse, and know where your trust levels are and all that, though. So it's probably different for every couple. But I think to answer the question at the end,
right.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you all for being here with me. I love talking about love, and I love having my friends join me in the conversation. I appreciate all of you. Love and marriage can be hard. Then again, nothing worth having is easy. If you have the love you desire, appreciate, nurture, and cherish it. Never stop dating. If you are still searching for the one, be intentional, both about your pursuit and putting in the work. Life is too short not to try, and I promise that courage is rewarded. Hopefully you have been entertained, if not encouraged or inspired. I do not promise to be an expert, nor do I have all the answers. I'm just Dana, being Dana. See you next time.